We don't even make that much money. How are we paying for this stuff? Hallo ihr Lieben and welcome back to my channel. If you've never met me, my name is Jenna and I'm a Canadian who's been living here in Germany since 2014, sharing all of my experiences being a Canadian mom living in Germany. As prices have been rising over recent years, how much does it actually cost to live here in Germany? I actually took you guys a couple weeks ago through a day in the life of exactly what I may spend while I'm out and about. But many of you also had the question of how much would it cost if I was raising a family here in Germany. Now keep in mind I do live in Düsseldorf and prices differ across the country. So sit back, get comfy. We are going to dive into my expenses. I thought we were budget friendly. Our family has 2 full-time incomes. And then I looked at my expenses and was like, we don't even make that much money. Like, how are we paying for this stuff? So you guys can tell me at the end of the video if you have any suggestions on how we can cut costs. But this, you guys, absolutely shocked me. And naturally, this video is sponsored by Wise. This is my favorite tool as a former expat, now German citizen. So if you're thinking about moving to Germany or you're already ready to go, setting up a free Wise account is one of the first and best things you can possibly do when you get started. Most of us when getting started here in Germany are going to need to transfer a significant amount of money from our home bank account over into euros. What most people don't realize, the banks that you are transferring your money from often have extremely high exchange rates and don't often tell you about the hidden fees. With Wise, there are no hidden fees. You can simply hop online on their homepage, use the calculator they have right there for you, and figure out exactly how much your money is worth using the exact market exchange rates like you'll see on Google, plus the small fee it will cost you right in front of your eyes. I'm gonna drop a link down below where you can actually not only get that account for free, but also get either a free physical card or a fee-free transfer of up to 500 euros. I'll share a bit more about Wise as we go through the video. I've been using Wise for years. The account is free to create. It really should be a no-brainer, and it might actually be one of the only accounts you can open before moving to Germany. A little bit more on that later. But first, let's break down what it really costs to raise a family here in Germany. Housing. We are a family of 4, and typically speaking here in Düsseldorf, you will pay anywhere between 2,000 to 4,000 euros in rent every month. We, as many of you know, actually purchased our house and have been paying a mortgage of 3,000 euros on it. We've since realized this is too high for what we can afford at the moment, and we are lowering it. You can get significantly cheaper rent if you're willing to move outside of a big city. One other thing that you need to consider is that here in Düsseldorf, for example, you can pay for a Bewohnerparkausweis, which is typically around like 30 euros a year, so it's not expensive. It basically gives you the right to park on your street for no additional fees. Otherwise, if you're looking at renting a parking spot, maybe in a garage, here you'll pay anywhere between 100 and 200 euros a month. So as we go through these topics in this video, I'm gonna give you a little money saving tip on how you can save even more money, and also give you a Wise moment to explain exactly how the Wise account might actually help you in these situations. And here's your Wise moment. If you didn't know, finding an apartment, especially for a family when you're looking for multiple bedrooms, can be very tricky. Now for you coming from a different country, it gets a little tricky. What if you're looking for an apartment for the first time? If you are chosen for an apartment, they are going to ask for your IBAN number. This is your European bank account number. If you don't have a European bank account, you might run into the risk of not being able to open one before you've arrived. So you can't find an apartment because you don't have a European bank account, but you can't get a European bank account without a registered address in Germany. How do you solve that? Wise. Wise does not require you to have a registered German address, and you will receive a European IBAN number where you can pay the deposit. You can open your Wise account anywhere in the world in just a few minutes and entirely online. Also, a little tip, if you do want to save other currencies, Wise actually has the ability to offer you different sub-accounts, so you can hold up to 22 different currencies in your Wise account. Topic number 2 is childcare. This really depends on the city that you're living and how many hours you actually require. And then you've also got costs for kids starting in the Grundschule or elementary school. Many schools offer this OGS or after school program that you will also have to pay for. So in most cities, you're gonna find something called a Beitragstabelle, which basically shows you the price you're gonna be paying based on the type of childcare, the number of hours, the age of the child, and your income. We were paying 350 euros a month for her daycare spot. Now that she is 3, we're actually no longer paying this 350 euros, but we are now indeed paying the OGS, or offenen Ganztagsschule, 180 euros for my older son, and he stays at the OGS until 4 p.m. Next year we will change that. I will share a bit more in our money saving tips. Let's average that out to about 265 euros per month for childcare with 2 children. Then you've got babysitting. Here in Düsseldorf, you pay anywhere between 15 and 20 euros an hour for a babysitter. School supplies and books for us are typically around 120 euros a year. So let's say 10 euros a month. School trips and workshops cost us about 60 euros a year, so about 5 euros a month. At the school, we pay for a warm lunch 78 euros a month. And at the daycare for our daughter, we pay 90 euros a month for breakfast and a warm lunch. So for childcare, all in all, we pay about 450 euros a month for 2 kids. Watch those hours because my son right now is staying until 4 p.m. but typically he comes home at 3 p.m. anyway. So next year we actually switched his 4 p.m. spot to a 3 p.m. spot and we're paying 90 euros instead of 180 a month. That's a big savings. Also with the Kita, if you're home anyway or you have the opportunity to pick your children up earlier, you can maybe get a 25-hour spot instead of a 45-hour spot. So just figure out how you can work it that makes sense for your family. But of course, my wise moment for you, it's important to save. But as an international family, we get a lot of Canadian money from our loved ones, from grandma and grandpa and aunts and uncles in Canada. We wanted to be able to offer this opportunity for our children to also save in different currencies. And this is where Wise for us has been very helpful because they can get their Christmas money, their birthday money in our Wise account that we can use in Canada if we really need to transfer it using Wise into our Euro sub account. Number 3, let's focus on groceries because grocery costs can differ significantly. We really like shopping at grocery stores like Lidl, Aldi, Penny, all of the discount shops. I know many of our friends like to shop at Edeka or some of the organic stores around Düsseldorf, but this can almost double in cost. And don't forget, this also includes like your toiletries shop. We go to DM for that. But I went through our expenses from last month to get an estimate and we spent about 650 euros a month on groceries. There is one more awesome tip that I have for you. Apparently, if you just look down at the bottom shelf, this is where their house brands typically are or the cheapest products. More expensive, more premium products are going to be put on eye level so that people don't have to look up or down. I buy almost all of the products from the lower shelf. And my wise moment for you is that every time I'm purchasing something, it notifies me on my phone. I can then go through, I can organize all my expenses, I can see it very visually. And actually it did save my butt the other day. I had made a payment at a restaurant and then all of a sudden their terminal died and I got a notification on my phone that the payment had succeeded and they were like, no, our terminal died, the payment didn't go through. Thankfully, it was a Wise account, so I had it right on my phone and I showed them, look, I did pay, it is successful, and then okay, you can go. And also something which might be neat to know for you guys, here in Germany at most major German grocery store chains, you can actually take out up to 200 euros cash while you're checking out. Usually there's a minimum purchase of 5 to 20 euros, but if you didn't manage to do this, then with the Wise account, they also give you up to 2 free withdrawals every single month of up to 200 euros from any ATM. So next topic is utilities. I'm a mom. I have to multitask. Electricity is a huge topic in Germany because you can always compare your prices. One of the things you do have to look out for here in Germany is that you can get locked into pretty long-term contracts because the price looks good and cheap and then you lock yourself in and perhaps electricity prices drop. Your prices would not. But we pay as a family of 4 about 100 euros a month. We do have 4 smaller solar panels, but we also do use a lot of electricity. We have a dryer. We run our washing machine quite often. We have a dishwasher. We use the microwave. We use all of our big appliances quite often. Our house is about 150 square meters. Gas we pay about 130 euros a month for. Water we pay about 80 euros for. Trash collection about 50 euros. House insurance 100 euros. Internet about 40 euros, and our Rundfunkbeitrag, which we pay 18 euros and 36 cents a month for. You cannot opt out of this. If you live in Germany, you are gonna have to pay. So it does add up fast. And that averages out to be about 520 euros a month. Not to mention, because we're homeowners, we also have to pay Grundsteuer and a few other insurances too. So my money saving tip for you guys here is Germans are crazy about these Vergleichsportalen. You can compare anything. I was actually looking up the cost of peanut butter butter the other day. And then my husband's like, oh, we'll just use this Vergleichsportal. Use this as an opportunity to compare utility costs. I actually had quite a difficult time going through and trying to figure out where all of my expenses were coming from. But the one good thing that I really do love about Wise is that you can also see like these little logos on the side when you make your purchases. And I've mentioned before, everything is very easily organized in the app for you. Gives you a better visual representation of how much you're actually spending. Transportation. Driving a car in Germany is expensive, period. Gas is very expensive. And public transportation is quite cheap. So we have something, if you haven't heard of it before, called the Deutschland ticket. And this is a ticket that will allow you to travel all over Germany for 63 euros a month. For two people, we would be paying 126 euros a month. My son right now, as a child, he only has to pay 2 euros per ticket. So yeah, he only takes about maximum 10 rides in a month. We'll pay about 20 euros for his public transportation every month. We do have one car and we share it between the two of us. Our insurance is about 650 euros a year. Of course, it depends on how much coverage you have. Our coverage is partial. You could be paying anywhere from like 200 euros to up to 1,000 euros a year for your insurance. But for us, it's about 55 euros a month, which I find pretty fair. We don't drive that much and our gas costs us around 100 to 150 euros a month. Maintenance, I would say, costs also about 50 euros. And then you've got parking. So we've already discussed local parking around your house or your apartment. We haven't talked city parking yet. Here in Düsseldorf, we pay around 4 to 4.50 euro per hour now. Other cities are even more expensive. Towns are usually free. We typically take public transportation into the city, but if we really need to drive, then we will be paying for parking. I think this is usually about 30 euros a month. And then we've got our e-bikes. We only take them to certain parts of the city because they also get stolen a lot. This e-bike insurance for us costs about 5 euros a month. We tack that onto our liability insurance, which is 6 euros a month. So all in all, we're talking about transportation being about 400 euros a month for us. This was quite shocking for me, to be honest. And a wise point for you is if you are booking transportation in a different country with a different currency, well then you've got your Wise account for that too. Then we've got our kids' activities. We want our kids to try everything, but guys, it adds up very fast in Germany if you are not careful. You've got sports clubs, dance classes, extracurricular craft classes, music lessons, swimming lessons, holiday camps. Our family pays about 100 euros a month for kids' activities. Most families I know are spending anywhere from 200 to 500 euros a month on kids' activities. I know that sounds crazy, but when you have your kids signed up to multiple different classes in a week that are a minimum of 60 euros a month per sport and you've got multiple kids, it's expensive. Your biggest money saving tip, look for city run or subsidized programs here. I'm talking about a difference of, I could sign my son up for rugby tomorrow and it would cost him 68 euros a year. He was doing karate at a private institution and it was costing us 75 euros a month. Next topic is clothing. Germans love secondhand shopping. I use apps like Vinted or Sellpy or eBay Kleinanzeigen. This sweater, for example, 1 euro. This belt I got like 10 years ago, also 1 euro. And then my lovely pants were 2 euros on Sellpy. I got them last week. We will spend a maximum of 50 euros a month on all of our clothing. And your wise moment. I usually buy secondhand things from Germany or France or the Netherlands, but every now and again I find a product that I absolutely love that I want to buy from the USA or from Australia. And obviously this is where my Wise card always comes in handy again. Even on the purchases you buy, if I don't have Australian dollars, you will spend using the mid-market rate. So a lot of like the subscriptions that I have are American, so they're charging me in US dollars, but I get the mid-market exchange rate like I would see on Google when I'm using my Wise card in euros. Now let's talk health. We've got our health insurance, our medication, and all other health costs that add up here in Germany. But everybody legally needs to have and pay for their own health insurance, and that will depend on how much you're earning. If you're employed, of course, we won't go into detail. We have gone into a lot of detail about that before, but if you're employed, you will split the cost with your employer. If you're self-employed, you'll pay it yourself. If you're unemployed, the city might pay for it for you, but everybody does legally have to have health insurance, and it is costing somebody. So we're on the public health insurance plan here in Germany, which means our kids don't have to pay anything. They are fully covered under our health insurance, and we pay probably just over 1,000 euros a month for our health insurance. Pretty expensive. But again, this cost is totally going to depend on your situation based on how much you earn, whether you're public or private, and many other factors. A big money saving tip here for you guys is in regards to medication. Pharmacies are relatively cheap in Germany, comparatively speaking to Canadian prices. However, always try to get the house brand if you can. Ask them if it's available. Typically, it's the exact same medical ingredients. They're just upselling you on a branded product. Additionally, although we should be supporting our local pharmacies, you can save quite a pretty penny by just buying them on online websites like Doc Morris, for example. Support your local pharmacies, but every once a year or so, I'll do a big bulk shop and I want to save money on having the staples in my house. So there you go. Then we've got our social life. We do a lot outdoors, so we don't spend a lot on like entertainment and going out, but it does add up. Birthday parties is usually around 30 euros a month for us buying gifts for their friends, because presents nowadays cost anywhere between 15 and 20 euros per child. Older generation Germans will say, no, we didn't give out more than like 10 euro gifts for kids. It's changed, especially here in Düsseldorf. And then of course we've got our own kids parties as well. I don't spend more than 200 euros on a child's birthday party. We do it relatively low budget. If I can do it for 100 bucks, even better. So let's say about 35 euros a month for both children's birthday parties. Gifts for them too. 2 kids, 10 euros a month. Then we've got play dates. So when we're bringing snacks, we go to DM. We often buy like snacks, or we'll just go to the kiosk and buy some snacks. We typically pay here about 5 to 10 euros for snacks at each play date. So yeah, adding that into our eating out is perhaps 100 euros a month. We actually don't go out that often because we don't go to restaurants, because I feel like Germans hate having children in restaurants and it just stresses me out. So if we do go out, we're usually just taking it to go or ordering a pizza to the park. Great idea. Coffee, don't drink it. And ice cream, we are just as crazy as all the other Germans. We eat ice cream almost daily in the summer. So I'm gonna have to say we spend about 20 euros a month on ice cream. So all in all, our social life adds up to 200 euros a month. I think this is actually pretty low for a family, but you can let me know what you think. So my money saving tip for you here would definitely be just go to some outdoor activities. We love being outdoors and exploring. We also have these really cool Abenteuerspielplätze here in Germany where you can like let the kids roam free. You can even drop them off at the age of 6 and they like learn how to build things and roast stockbrot over the fire and interact with animals. It is amazing. There are so many free things to do in Germany that you really don't need to pay much to have a social life here. But if you are planning on paying for your social life, don't forget you might need to bring cash, like kiosks, for example, and döner shops. They don't always take card. It is getting better, but it's always very good to bring cash with you. Or I oftentimes don't even bring my wallet. I just bring my phone and tap. I have my Wise card actually connected to my Apple Pay, which makes it so much easier to pay on the go when I need it. They also have it as Google Pay too. But if you would like to get your own free physical card with your Wise account, as I mentioned, I do have that link down below that you can go and grab yourself either a free physical card when you open up your account or a fee-free transfer of up to 500 euros. Now we're at subscriptions. Subscriptions are getting out of hand. What up? We pay now Netflix 10 euros a month, Sofa Tutor 8 euros a month. We had Amazon Kids Plus for 5 euros a month. We've recently canceled that, but we've gotten a couple other ones. Our gym memberships cost 25 euros a month each. So I would say averaging is about 75 euros a month for subscriptions for our family. And then lastly, the biggest one for expats is travel. Obviously, yes, of course you want to travel for fun, but for expats and internationals like myself, I have to go home. I have to go see my family in Canada. This is very, very important for me. And it is expensive with a family of 4. Let's not forget our weekend trips. Our flights to Canada last time for 4 of us cost 5,000 euros. I tend to budget about 12,000 euros a year now. So we're estimating about 1,000 euros a month. Money saving tip for you, just use Wise. You can't not go home and see your family, right? Just use Wise. I just use it for my multiple different currencies. There's no hidden fees. The transfers are super fast and I can track everything that I'm spending in both currencies and visually see everything right in the app. So all in all, when you really look at it, it's not really about how much it's gonna cost you to live in Germany. It's more or less how are you going to save and how smart are you actually going to be with your money when you're here. I think I can be smarter with my money now that I've actually sat down and calculated all of the costs. To be honest, I'm super shocked at how much we spend. I thought we were quite frugal. All in all, we spend 7,445 euros a month. We don't even make that much, which makes sense why the last months we've been scraping by trying to pull our pennies from other corners. So I wanted to give a huge shout out to Wise for helping me pay my bills. Again, don't forget, if you do open up your own Wise account, I have this link down for you below that is going to either give you a free physical card when you open the account or a fee-free transfer of up to 500 Euro. Vielen, vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.